Alright, what's up YouTube? Yo boy Crypto Tone coming at ya with another video. So check it out guys, SEC Chairman Clayton affirms agency stance Ether is no longer a security. So it was a security, now it's not a security? What the hell is going on? How is something a security and then it's not a security? It either it is or it isn't. Anyway, he came out and said this, I guess today, and really not too much of a price increase, you know, based off of what he said. You would think that this freaking thing would soar to the moon, and it didn't. So we had a bottom at about 127. The news came out, and then bam, all the way up to about 134, which is a good gain. However, now we're bull flagging, it looks like. But again, I really think there should have been a bigger move on that, which is pretty surprising. So let's get into it. The U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission's chairman has seconded a colleague's analysis that found the world's second largest cryptocurrency likely does not qualify as a security. Last year, SEC Director of Corporation Finance, William Hinman, said during a speech that Ethereum, that #2 coin by market cap, did not exhibit the properties of a security. At the time, he explained that he did not see a central group as being responsible for the cryptocurrency. Congressman Ted Budd with industry advocacy group Coin Center asked for clarification on whether SEC Chairman Jay Clayton agreed with Hinman's remarks. The regulator has now responded by saying he agrees that the analysis of whether a digital asset is offered or sold as a security is not static and does not strictly adhere to the instrument. So whatever that means, I gotta put that in English a little better. A cryptocurrency may be sold as a security when it is first launched if it meets the definition of an investment contract, but the digital asset may later be sold or offered to consumers without being investments. Clayton wrote in a letter dated March 7th. Wow, that's pretty freaking big, guys. This is pretty big, not just for Ethereum, but for the entire market as a whole. I agree with Director Hinman's explanation of how a digital asset transaction may no longer represent an investment contract if, for example, purchasers would no longer reasonably expect a person or group to carry out the essential managerial or entrepreneurial efforts. Very good point. Under those circumstances, the digital asset may not represent an investment contract under the Howey framework. So that makes a lot of sense, guys. The letter did not mention Ethereum by name, however. Okay, so then maybe that's why? I don't know. Past statements, Clayton's letter echoes comments he made at CoinDesk's Consensus Invest last year, where he likened digital assets to tickets for a new play. At the time, Clayton suggested that a group of investors might be promised a suite of tickets in return for funding the play, which would qualify these tickets as securities. However, if at a later date tickets are only sold to give each other theater goer a chance to see the play, that's decentralized, he added. Wow, so that's a very good point. So they're actually putting a lot of thought into this and putting some real good analogies to work here. This aspect of decentralization is important. According to Clayton, he'd earlier touched on the point while discussing Bitcoin, noting that generally an asset like Bitcoin, where it's decentralized, does not fit within a securities designation. So he already basically went over that about Bitcoin a few months back, or maybe a year back or whatnot, saying that Bitcoin is definitely not a security, but other particular coins could be, and there's been speculation for a while now. So this is great that he's kind of clarifying this in a way to give more hope to investors currently, and definitely more clarity to the space. So no one is creating it for their own control of Bitcoin. It's designed to be a payment system replacing for sovereign currencies, he said. We've determined that doesn't have the attributes of a security. As far as I'm concerned, that's designed to be akin to the dollar, the yen, the euro, and it operates that way. So he's acknowledging, that's very good that the government is acknowledging that these are currencies and not securities. That's great. People who purchase it are expecting it to operate that way, and they're also expecting to be able to utilize that particular currency to pay for things and whatnot. So how could something you use to pay for be a security is really the main question. But it's the way that they're brought upon us for the most part that they were thinking that these could potentially be securities. So, it's really, at the end of the day, really what it is just a kind of like a ploy for them to continue the speculation, keep the prices low until they're really ready to let people know, so that there's not an insane amount of FOMO like there was in 2017. That's just kind of my take on that. But definitely some great news, guys. This is really big for the space. Again, very surprising that Ethereum has not gone on a rampage by now. You would think that it would go up, but I guess the fact that he didn't actually say, isn't that what they said? They said that he didn't actually say that Ether wasn't in it, that it wasn't a security. So I guess he was kind of pointing at it. The letter did not mention Ethereum by name. So, that could play a part in it. However, if he is to come out at a later date and say that, then that's going to be big. Although he already basically told us the answer there. So it's like kind of like now you're in early, you have your answer. The possibility of it being a security is a lot slimmer than it was previously. So same thing here off that news. We had a bit of a bump on Bitcoin coming back down, sort of flagging here, and now hopefully going to go back up. So let's take a look at the daily chart here. We've been consolidating for the most part, sort of creating a bear flag. A couple of people were calling this an inverse head and shoulders, but you have a lower left shoulder, so that doesn't really work if you utilize that wick there. So, it's kind of like a wedge here where it's, you got this point to this point, this point to this point. It's kind of opening up more so than flagging, really. Like, for example, here was a bull flag. Bam, you broke out of that, came back down, whales dumped, and now, again, it's trying to consolidate and figure out what it's going to do. Indicators here on the daily are looking a bit topped out. Stoch RSI, regular RSI here in the middle, really in the middle. So a lot of indecision between the bulls and the bears here. And again, a lot of people are bullish right now. A lot of altcoins are bullish. We've had some major altcoins blow up, like Engine Coin and a few others that are working on potentially going up. So we could see a nice little rally, in my opinion, if we get some further clarification maybe from the SEC chairman. If he is to come out today and really say that no, Ethereum is not a security, that would be massive. So let's see what happens. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Do you think Ethereum's a security? I don't really think it is. I hope it's not. So I do kind of care, but at the end of the day, I'm not an expert in that. So if it's a security, great. Then can I still use it? Is the price still going to be good? Like I said, they're probably not going to come out and say this is a security now based on this article. So that's pretty much it. Let me know in the comments below. With that being said, like, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Holla at you, boy. Peace.